There's one kind of test worse than no test, a flaky one. It passes on your machine, fails in CI, passes again on a rerun, and after a week of that, people stop believing any red build. A flaky test is almost always a test that depends on something it shouldn't: the clock, a random value, or state left over from another test. So this episode is about making tests boringly reliable, fast, deterministic, and isolated. Let's hunt down the 3 usual culprits and shut each one out. 3 things make tests flaky, and they're almost always the same 3. First, the clock. The moment your code calls DateTime.Now, a test like, is this to-do overdue, depends on the actual day you run it. Green today, red next month. Second, random identity. A standard GUID is unordered and unique to each run. So the instant a test sorts by ID or snapshots a record that contains 1, the result shifts from run to run. And third, shared state, the quiet killer. One test leaves a row, a static field, a singleton dirty, and suddenly another test result depends on the order they ran in. The fix for all 3 is the same idea. Don't let your code reach out and grab ambient, uncontrolled values. Make them yours. Start with the biggest culprit, the clock. Trellis code never calls DateTime.Now directly. It takes a time provider. In production, that's the system clock. In a test, it's a FakeTimeProvider from Microsoft's time testing package that you set to whatever instant you like. Here we freeze now at noon on the 26th. Now a due date of the 25th is in the past. Not in the past if you run this before some date, but deterministically on every machine, forever. We pass that frozen clock into try-create and assert the past date fails. The same test that would have been a time bomb is now rock solid. And when you need time to move, the fake clock can advance by an hour or a day on command. Next, identity. And here I want to be precise, because a GUID by itself isn't really the problem. The problem is a random, unordered one. A standard new GUID, a version 4 GUID, is random, with no order at all. So the instant a test sorts or pages by ID, the order comes back different every run. The fix is a typed ID minted as UID version 7, still globally unique, but time-ordered. Now ordering follows creation order, so a list todos or keyset paging test is deterministic instead of random. And the second habit is about assertions. Don't hardcode a literal GUID and compare against it. Let the aggregate mint its ID, capture that value, and assert against what the code actually produced. In a snapshot, a unique ID is volatile by nature, so you let a tool like Verify scrub it. Control the order, capture the value, scrub the rest. Last enemy, messy, shared setup. If every test hand builds a to-do with all its fields, they drown in irrelevant detail, and they're tempted to share one mutable fixture, which brings back the shared state problem. The cure is an object mother or a builder, one small class that knows how to produce a valid to-do with sensible defaults and lets each test override only the part it cares about. A test about tags says tagged work and ignores everything else. A test about due dates says due on this date. Each test gets a fresh, isolated, valid object in one readable line. No shared fixture, no copy-pasted setup, no accidental coupling between tests. So here's the checklist for a test you can trust. Inject the clock. Your logic never reads DateTime.Now. The test freezes or advances time as needed. Use a time-ordered ID, so sorting and paging by ID aren't random, and capture IDs instead of hard-coding them. And give every test its own fresh data through a builder with no shared mutable fixture, so the order tests run and simply cannot matter. Do these 3 things and your tests become deterministic. Same inputs, same result, every single time. And because none of this touches a database or a network, they stay at the fast base of the pyramid, thousands of them, green in seconds. That's how you kill flakiness. Inject the clock so time is yours to control. Use time-ordered IDs so sorting and paging aren't random, and build fresh isolated data so no test depends on another. The payoff is a suite that's deterministic and fast, the kind people actually trust, so a red build means a real problem. We've now built the entire base of the pyramid. Next time, we climb to the middle tier, integration tests that exercise your whole pipeline in memory with Web Application Factory. So subscribe, and I'll see you there.